Now we have question number 6. Question number 6 shows solid A. Solid A, again, two names. Precipitate, two parts of the name. Gas, we have something gas. And white precipitate, most likely two names as well. Okay, so let's highlight the clues. We have hydrochloric acid, right? And you know that hydrochloric acid is most likely probably a test for carbonates, right? But it can also be a reaction with oxides because you got MAC, right? Or A might be a metal. So it can either be a carbonate, an oxide, or a metal, depending on what gas is formed. So what other clues do I have? I have lime water. And I know that lime water is a test for carbon dioxide. And the other clue that I see is aqueous ammonia. And I know aqueous ammonia is a test for cation test. So I already have focused my attention on the arrows. Look at the arrows first, and I got my clues. Make sure I write all this down. Right now, I can start solving the flowchart. So let's look at the carbon dioxide test. Okay, carbon dioxide test is something that you must remember. So we know that B, white precipitate, lime water, means B must be carbon dioxide. Right, and we must know that carbon dioxide pumped through lime water, the white precipitate is calcium carbonate. And this is something that I went through in the test for gases lesson. So this must be calcium carbonate. Alright, let's look at the other side. So if carbon dioxide is formed here when acid is added, means that A cannot be a metal. Because if it's a metal, this gas must be hydrogen gas. It cannot be an oxide. Because if I add oxide to an acid, I wouldn't get a gas. Only salt and water. So the only thing that will produce carbon dioxide gas with an acid is a carbonate. So A must be a carbonate. So I know one part of the name of solid A. Let's look at the next part. So we look at the test over here. And the test over here is a cation test that forms a blue precipitate. So we must think through all our cation tests again. And we know that a blue precipitate indicates the presence of copper 2+ ions. And this actually goes all the way back to solid A. So solid A contains copper 2 carbonate. So we write there copper 2 carbonate. And something for us to remember, which is good to remember, is that copper 2 carbonate is actually a green powder. Right? And then we know that in the cation test, when there's a blue precipitate, this has to be the copper 2 hydroxide. Whether it is the cation test with ammonia or the test with sodium hydroxide, the blue precipitate is always copper 2 hydroxide. Okay, we have solved the cation test, the flow chart. Let's look at the actual question here. Describe what you will see when excess ammonia was added to blue precipitate C. And we should know that when we are doing the cation test with aqueous ammonia, there are two tests that are very special. One is the test for zinc ions and the test for copper 2+ ions. And the reason why it's so special is that the ammonia test for cations will always lead to a solution. So over here, we need to know that the blue precipitate will be soluble in excess. And this is not all. We need to tell what color solution to form a dark blue solution. So that way, we know that definitely this is the copper 2+ ions. Alright? Okay.